You see 20-7 the score at the half. Carolina with the lead over BC. It was Brent Renner hooking up with Bug Howard with the touchdown there late in the second quarter, and that's where we stand right now. 20-7 second half action just a few minutes away. Welcome to our ACC College Football Saturday studios. My name's Hans Heiserer. Hope everybody's having a great weekend out there. ACC was front center stage last week as Florida State prevailed over Clemson. Miami, the other undefeated team, 3 teams ranked in the top 10 for the ACC. Let's check in on the Hurricanes today. Let's head down to Coral Gables and Miami running out onto the field. Wake Forest with the lead in this one, 14-10 fourth quarter. Let's pick it up. Duke Johnson, 5 yards, gets a nice block there, dives for the pylon. Touchdown, Miami up 17-14, but stop. It's Tanner Price, 44 yards, hooking up with about 4 minutes left in this game. Dominique Gibson picks up a nice block, and Wake Forest with the lead here. Under a minute to go. Miami drives the field. Duke Johnson crosses the goal line to give Miami the 24-21 lead. Wake Forest would have a chance, though. However, pass dropped. Tanner Price intercepted. Antonio Crawford with the pick. 24-21. Miami hangs on to win. The Cardiac Kids, it seems like all season long, they survived 7-0. Next week, of course, heading to Tallahassee. We'll check in on the Noles here in just a minute. Games in progress right now. Let's head to Maryland. That's former Dallas Cowboy and Maryland great. You see right there, that's Mr. White, 1974 ACC championship ring. This is Caleb Rowe, 71 yards, this time hooking up with Laverne Jacobs. Clemson up 3-0 early in this one, but this gives Maryland the 7-3 lead, and this isn't what Clemson fans want to see. Taj Boyd gets bent up there a little bit and immediately grabs that left knee, but he'd be all right. He hooks up with his old friend, Mr. Sammy Watkins, goes 22 yards right there, and that would set up a Clemson field goal. They have since added a touchdown. That score is now 16-7 Clemson. Just about halftime in that one. We'll get you back out to some second half action here in just a bit, but when we come back, we'll check in on the number 2 team in all the land and Jameis Winston, see how he's doing so far in Tallahassee. See Carolina there with the 20-7 lead. They took advantage of early great field position, scored a touchdown, and then one last one before the half. And there you see the score, 20-7. Other ACC games in play. How about the number 2 team in all the land? There you see Jimbo Fisher and Bobby Bowden hugging it out, taking part in an old Florida State tradition. And let's go ahead and get the action underway. First quarter, State already up 14-0 in this one. This time, Jameis Winston hands it to Devonta Freeman, 21-0 already. And then later in the first, Seminoles up 28-0 at this point. This time it's the Heisman hopeful Jameis Winston. Drops back, this time hooks up with his man Rashad Green in the end zone for the touchdown. They just added the extra point. It's now 42-0. All Noles in this one, still in the first half. Other games in action, final from earlier today. Virginia with Georgia Tech with a huge goal line stand going into the locker room. Coach London with a gutsy call there, but the Jackets defense stands up. 21-17 fourth quarter, 3 minutes left. How about Robert Godhigh, 65 yards. It was only a 4-point game at this point. Nice cutback. He's got some leading blockers here. He would score the touchdown. Jackets go up 28-17. Jackets go on to win 35-25. It's been a house of horrors from them in years past, but Paul Johnson now playing with a little bit of momentum, and most importantly, that Tech defense playing its best football of the year. There you see the score, 20-7. Second half action just moments away. When we come back, can the Duke Blue Devils pull up the upset in Blacksburg? We'll check in on that game next. Go ahead and take a look at some more action going on right now. Duke looking to win on the road for the second time in as many weeks. Coach Cutcliffe there, you see, here we go, let's pick it up in the second quarter. This time making a play on the defense. It's Daddy Nicholas, Hokies defensive tackle with the interception. Duke does add a field goal just before the half to make it 6-0. Upset in the making on the road in Blacksburg over the number 14 Virginia Tech Hokies. Also, we got 24-21 at the end of regulation. Nick Sloan, the midshipman's place kicker, knocks down a 30-yard field goal to give them the win, 24-21. Both teams now 4-3 on the season. All right, second half action just moments away from Kenan Stadium. Boston College 7, North Carolina 20. Send it back to Wes and Brian. 38-7 on the Plains at the half. We'll get you back out to Bob and Tim and Elizabeth here in just a bit. All Auburn right now at the half, and obviously the health of Nick Marshall, as you see, he's not going to be back for the second half. He's out of pads, but Jeremy Johnson so far so good in his replacement. Welcome into our halftime studios. It is our Toyota halftime report. My name's Heiserer. Hope everybody's having a great weekend, and we got some great SEC action to take a look at, including a big matchup going down between Missouri and South Carolina right now. Remember last week it was upset city. Had 5 teams in the top 25 from the SEC go down. This week, Missouri with that number 5 ranking. Could they win the 3rd game in a row against a ranked opponent? Let's check in on them right now. And you got to imagine they're fired up here in Columbia. Gary Pinkel, you see right there in his 14th year, looking to go 8-0 for the first time since 1960. This time it's Matty Mark. He hands the ball off to Marcus Murphy, who does it with his legs. Mizzou up 7-0 early on in Columbia. Second quarter, South Carolina down 7, first and goal at Mizzou. And guess what? Dylan Thompson, who's in for the injured Connor Shaw, he hands it to Mike Davis, who's had problem fumbling all year. He does it again. How about this? 96 yards. It's already 7-0. Matty Mark hooks up with LaDamian Washington. 96 yards for the touchdown. 14-0 going in the locker room at the half. That game is now just underway in the 3rd quarter. Still 14-0 Missouri. Take a look at the number 1 team in all the land, Alabama. See if the fans would stay for the second half in this one. And you see the overview stadium view there. And early on, it's A.J. McCarron hooking up with Amari Cooper, 54 yards and the touchdown. 7-0 Bama. This would be a thing. Pick it up later on in the second quarter. Alabama up 14-0 now. A.J. McCarron again. His second touchdown pass of the day, this time to Kevin Norwood, 21-zip Bama. And you know it's not a game until they score a defensive touchdown. And this time it's intercepted, this time by Landon Collins. Justin Worley's pass, 89 yards. Waits for his block there. Takes it in for the end zone, 35-0. Your score, Alabama at the half, and they cruise to go on to win 45-10. T.J. Yeldon, 3 touchdowns on the day. A.J. McCarron, 19 to 27, 275 and 2 touchdowns. Alabama's off next week as they get ready for LSU on that November 9th showdown, that's right around the corner. All right, 38-7 at the half. Auburn with the lead. We'll come back. Johnny Football, we know he got banged up last week. His heroic efforts fell a little bit short. Was he back on the field for the Aggies? We'll check in on them next. What a difference a year makes. Auburn up 38-7 over Florida Atlantic at the half. They're 6-1 on the season. Look to make it improvement to 7-1. And just think this time last year where this football team is. What a difference coaching makes. Coach Gus Malzahn, Ellis Johnson running the defense. Welcome into our Toyota halftime report. My name's Heiserer, and speaking about coaches, last year Kevin Sumlin burst on the scene with Texas A&M Aggies, of course led by his Heisman quarterback, eventual Heisman winner in Johnny Football. Johnny Football a little banged up last week. There was questions all week whether or not he was going to play. Well, he did. Let's take a look at some of the action today from College Station. There he is, Johnny Football leading his football team out on the field. Already up 14-0. He drops back. Let's see how that shoulder is. This guy makes everybody's shoulder looks good. That is Mike Evans with the touchdown. 21-0 Aggies. No problem early on. Second half, Aggies up 9 points. This time it's their defense getting it done. Interception by Howard Matthews. He takes it to the house, 35-17. Texas A&M. Third quarter, that same score. Manziel drops back. 14-yard touchdown, this time to Darrell Walker. Makes it 42-17. They would roll. Final score 56-24. Texas A&M gets the win. They'll take on UTEP next week as they improve to 6-2 on the season. Also in progress right now, let's go to Oxford, Mississippi, where it's homecoming. They're taking on the Vandals of Idaho. First time these two schools have ever met. Bo Wallace, he drops back, 37 yards. Look at the touch here. Beautiful throw. That's Jamez Logan in the end zone for the touchdown. Ole Miss up 7-0. Still in the first, same score, first and 10 Rebels. Takes Bo Wallace, gets the handoff, gives it to Jalen Watton, whose speed takes it to the house, all the way to the end zone, 40 yards in the touchdown. Make it 14-0. It's now 24-7. Ole Miss over the Vandals at the half. There you go. It's one of the 5 touchdowns in the half for the Auburn Tigers. 38-7 your halftime score. There was SEC action on Thursday as Mississippi State took on Kentucky. We'll take a look at those highlights next. Auburn Auburn Tigers 30 minutes away from improving to 7-1 on the season. You see the halftime score there from Jordan Hare, 38-7. We'll get you back to Bob, Tim, and Elizabeth for second half action in just a moment. But there was a game on Thursday night, SEC action. Kentucky taking on Mississippi State's picking up in the second half. How about JoJo Kemp, 14 yards for the score, and that's getting Kentucky back into the game. 21-19 failed two-point conversion. How about a little chicanery here? This is Jamian Lewis touchdown pass to the quarterback, Dak Prescott. That turned out to be the game winner. Mississippi State gets the win 28-22, their first SEC win of the season. Kentucky's first SEC win is going to have to wait. We talked about Alabama getting ready for their showdown with their win over Tennessee today against LSU. Well, LSU rebounding nicely. This was a close game earlier on, but LSU pulling away now after that tough loss last week to Ole Miss. LSU again in a couple weeks will take on Alabama. All right, it's been our Toyota halftime report. My name's Hans Heiser. Second half action right around the corner as it's 38-7, Auburn with the lead over Florida Atlantic at the half.